we're going to be, our guest is Nilay Ener, and she'll be with us shortly. Linda, what else can you tell us about tonight?
So, as 1 second. So actually I have it here. Give me just 1 second. Can everybody see my screen, my presentation?
Yep, I see the Flutter Talk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is the agenda. So as soon as Nilay will join us around 5:30, we will have a Flutter trivia game where I think the first 3 winners will win a prize. I don't want to spoil all the news, so I want to leave some suspense until she joins us. As soon as we finish the Flutter trivia game, Nilay will start her talk about Flutter. Then we will have a code lab where I will walk you through the steps to build a small app, Flutter app. We will not use today the IDE. I will show you how we will do it using the browser. I wanted to make it easier for me in case somebody has any problems. So everybody will be able to follow along even if they don't have Flutter installed in their computers. And in the end, we will have a meetup wrap up and some closing comments. So do you want to present the team?
Sure, yeah. What you see here is the Google Developer Group Capital Region organizers. The first person is Jason Rotella, and he is the original member and organizer of the group. It has been so for many years. He's the founding member. Next to that is Blaine Smith. He's done a lot of work on the technology to support our group, like our domain, and I think he might have even started the Meetup website that you've seen when we logged in for this event. Fausto has been helping to organize, especially the DevFest event, and participates in a lot of the meetings and organization. After that is Chad Portwine, that's me. I'm the newest member of the group. And then, of course, I think we all know Linda, who has been driving so many events and really reaching out to the other Google developer groups to make our local group really become more of an international group. So that's been very, very wonderful.
So let's see.
Yeah, so these are things that we talked a little bit about, but let's just go over them again. The meeting etiquette is pretty straightforward. Everyone that's dialed in already has come in through the Meet and not through the telephone, so no worries there, that's great. We definitely encourage you to keep your camera on if you're comfortable with that. It really gives us a sense of us all being there, but don't feel obligated to that. Do turn your camera on when you have the opportunity to speak. When that time comes, it would be great when you're speaking if we can see you. Most important thing, of course, is to be excellent to each other. That's our code of conduct. I don't think I have to say too much about that. I think we have a good group of people. Remember to be nice and excellent to one another. We definitely want you to ask questions, even converse amongst each other in the chat. So please use the chat to leave, to drop questions in, or to, if someone has a question and you know the answer, dive in and let people know what you know. That's definitely a good place to be collaborative. Then at the end, we will have an opportunity for everyone to speak with each other. And I believe the speaker will open up to Q&A. Again, we're recording this right now. The good news about that is you should be able to find this later. We'll post it and make it available to you. Just contact the Google Developer Group organizers for information on how to find that link later. So these things are live, and the last bit is that if we have a problem, technically, if an alarm goes off or if we lose contact with anyone who's speaking, we apologize in advance. So far, things have gone pretty well, though. And hopefully tonight will be like that. Linda, what's the next slide?
I don't know if I updated this slide, but usually, usually should be this. Yeah, it's good.
Yep. So, do you want to go over these things? Most of this is, if you're probably on this call, you're probably nearly set to go.
Yeah.
I think Flutter installed on your PC or laptop, is that still required with the...
Not necessary for tonight. We will go to use Dartpad or Codepen. I will show everybody. So even if you don't have it installed, you can always follow up with us. If you have it installed, better for you, can have a different experience. But
that's right. Some of you who are more advanced with Flutter, maybe you do just want to open up Android Studio and work in the space you're used to. However, if it's your first time, which for many of us it is, Dartpen is the best way to go. It gets you right into coding without having to worry about the details. So that's highly recommended. Okay, what's the next slide?
No.
Yes, okay.
The next slide is the... So, what time is it? We have another few minutes. I would like to announce other meetups that we have in our list, just in case you might be interested to attend. So let's see here. See all upcoming. We have a TensorFlow on Google Cloud platform. It's a free workshop with certificate that we are organizing with the Google Cloud and Nuremberg from Germany and other Google Clouds, GDG Google Clouds all over the world. I don't remember all the list, but you can go to open it up and you can see. Also, we have every weekend a online a study group we are preparing for Google Associate Cloud Engineer exam. So if you are looking into that, you can join us and making it easier for you to find all the materials, everything you need. Then we will have another meetup where we will talk with Dan Sullivan, the author of the official Google Cloud study guides. So again, if you are preparing for the exam, for the Google Cloud certifications, that is a good opportunity to join us. Also, we have I Am Remarkable workshop, which is a Google initiative to promote women and unrepresented categories. So if you are interested, this workshop is the only workshop that has limited seats. So I think there are only 3 available. But so if you are interested, make sure that you RSVP. After that, after 20 attendees, we cannot have anybody else. And in July next month, we will have the online prototyping with Flutter and Firebase with the Paul Reeds always at Google. So please make sure if you are interested in Flutter and Firebase to join us. So another thing, if we go here, I says that I will share some resources. So if you go in our event, you will see that before the agenda, for who is new, there is a repo with all our activity that we did so far since February last year when we started this group. Flutter group, not the GDG group. And here, going from the bottom to top, you will see that there are some code labs that you can do in your own and start your journey with Flutter. They are Google Code Labs, and you have step-by-step instructions. And if you have problems, you can always, and here you see what apps you will create and so on. So if you have problems with them, you can always contact me through Meetup and I will make sure to give you the right information and so. So this is here you can find some. I posted all the links in this way. Even if you didn't attend it and you are interested, you can always find good material there. So what else? So today we will use two code sandboxes. Only one, depending what you like. One it's called Dartpad. So let's say you, okay. So this is one of the code sandboxes, which is you find it at dartpad.dev, dartpad or that. How you say it, Chad? You might know.
Sure.
And the other one it's codepen.io/Flutter. So if you put Flutter in the end, it opens directly to the editor. And you can go here and say open editor, and it will have a sample code, and you can start to write here. So even if you don't have your computer set up, you should be able to code along with us. So did everybody? So in Codepen, if you want to save your pens, you can create an account, I think, with GitHub. You can log in directly if you have a GitHub account. If you don't have a GitHub account, I don't know. I don't want to log out because if I should be able to log in even if I don't remember my password because I go through GitHub. But I want to avoid problems, so I will not log out. If you have problems creating an account, please let me know. But in meantime, if you could create an account, you can even code along without creating an account, but you will not be able to save, first of all. Might be that you will not be even able to run the code. So it would be better if you can create an account quickly. So did the Nilay? Let's see. Not yet, huh? It's almost, we're almost there. So does anyone has problems with anything so far? No. I'm taking some screenshots. Okay. I don't know. Let me check my email to see if everything's okay, if she doesn't have any problems. Actually, I think I can contact her in Slack. 1 second. Only to make sure that everything's okay. She has a meeting until 5:30, so I'm hoping that her meeting finishes exactly in time. So otherwise, I will have to start the code lab. Let's see if I can contact her. Yeah. But she's not online here in Slack. I didn't receive any email, so I'm assuming everything should be okay. So, Hemang, do you want to do a little bit about your experience with the...
Oh, here she is.
Yeah, she's here?
Yep.
I don't see. Hey! Unmute yourself, you are muted.
Hello, hi everyone.
Hey!
Hi.
Hey, oh my gosh, so good to see everyone. How is everyone doing?
Okay,
So what did I miss?
Nothing. No, I did only a little presentation. We did a little presentation of the GDG, so you are all set.
Okay, awesome.
So
should I start?
give me just 1 second to do a beautiful presentation about Nilay. Let's read. Give me just 1 second. No, you did this to be with us at least. So I met Nilay in person this last year in New York City when times was different. And she is known as the mother of dashes. Maybe she will tell us the story of the dashes. But this little mascot, the Flutter mascot, this is the dash. So Nilay works at Google for Flutter and Dart developer relations team as a program manager. She especially works on the community and social media programs. She used to be a GDG organizer just like us, so she's coming from the community. So let's welcome Nilay.
Yay, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. So my name is Nilay, and I work in the Flutter developer relations team. I am based in California, but I'm originally from Turkey. I moved to United States a few years ago. Since then, I'm with Google, and I joined Flutter team 2 years ago. So I was there where the Flutter was just being announced to everyone, and a lot of people were asking, "Oh, wow, what is this? Like, what this Flutter thing?" And then people started using it, and then people started asking, "Oh, is Google gonna kill Flutter?" And then all these questions, because Google is very infamous with the killing some technologies, but so far everything is good. We don't seem to be happening in any time we can see. The team is growing, and today I wanted to join and say hi to everyone, and thanks Linda for inviting me. So first I will start actually with a quiz today. I don't know how much you're familiar with Flutter, and that quiz is just for fun, just to have some fun together for a few minutes. And there will be really necessary and unnecessary information and questions about Flutter in that quiz. So I wonder how much you will be able to know about that. So, and then I will just jump into Flutter and then say that why, like Flutter, you should start using Flutter and from the Google perspective. And if you have any questions, we will jump in that. So shall we start with the quiz? Is everyone ready? Yep. No?
Very ready. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So can I present my screen? All right. So okay, so I'll turn on the music. This also has a music. So can you see my screen? Just say yes, no, I don't see you.
Yep, we see it. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So to join the quiz, go to kahoot.it and then enter this game pin, and it will let you in the game. And once you do it, we will see your name here. So please join. This is just for fun. All right, we're waiting for players. Victor is here. Okay, great. Who else? 2 players.
I posted the link in chat just in case.
Okay, thank you. Yay, 5. Okay, Carol. Okay, anyone else? Yay. Linda, are you playing?
No, because I already know the answers.
You should join. It is for fun. I'm sure there are some questions you will know the answer.
You think that are questions that I don't know the answer?
There are some questions I'm sure you know.
I know all of them. That's why most of them I know. So that's why I didn't want. But
okay.
if I win, doesn't count. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. If you win, okay. All right. And all right. So this is really just for fun, and for top 3 people, I will be sending dash to those 3 people. Okay.
So this is the prize for who wins. The first 3 winners.
Yes. All right, 12. Anyone else? Is there anyone else joining? Should we wait for anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Okay. All right, so let's start with that. So there will be 12 questions. And the first question is, when was Flutter started? 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. You have 12 seconds.
No music?
You don't hear the music?
Yeah, it was more fun with the music last time.
Oh, you should be able to hear that. I don't know why.
Okay. That's okay. Maybe I don't hear it in my side.
Okay, all right. So yeah, Flutter has, okay, a lot of people said 2015. It is actually technically correct because the first public commit to Flutter GitHub was done in 2015. But Flutter is actually started in 2014 as an internal project at Google. I will talk about how it started. So good job for people. Next question. Oh, okay. Look at, oh, Linda, you know that.
I wasn't so fast.
Okay, all right. Great. So next question. Woohoo! All right. Which technology isn't used to build Flutter? Dart, Python, C++, Skia. Can you hear the music?
No, I cannot hear it. I don't know if others, but no.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yes. All right. Wow. Several people leave that. That's great. Okay. Yeah. Flutter. Python hasn't been used to build Flutter itself. Okay. Next question. Okay. Let's see who is the leader now. Linda. Yes, you are the winner.
That doesn't count, anyways.
Okay. Maybe going forward, you should stop playing so we can see the top 3 winner because I don't think if I'll be able to see the top 3. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So next question. And how many colors does the F in the Flutter logo have? 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think the music is too loud.
Sorry, turning it down.
Yeah, much better.
All right. So actually, Flutter has 3 colors. 5. Okay, what is that? Why did this happen? Okay. Anyway, so there is no one said 5. It should be 3. So 5 people named. That's correct. Good job. Let's see the leaderboard. Carol, Linda, and Glenn. Good job. So next question.
I left the game.
What was Flutter called before Flutter? Dash, Sky, Fly, or Dart? All right. Okay, yes. Flutter is called Sky before Flutter. When it was just an internal project, it was Sky, and then they changed the name to Flutter as you know today. So 4 people. Let's see who they are. Wow, Hammond, Carol, and Sumit. Good job. So, okay, next question. What programming language is used to build Flutter apps? JavaScript, Kotlin, Dart, and Java. Yes, it is Dart. Great job. Dart is used, and I am sure this is Linda, this one person.
No, I left the game. I'm not anymore.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, so let's go. Ooh, okay, we have leaders. Great job. So next question. Which IDE can't be used to build Flutter apps? IntelliJ, Android Studio, Eclipse, Visual Studio. Yep. You have 10 seconds. Yes, the correct answer is Eclipse. Actually, yeah, so when I was preparing this question, I thought you cannot build Flutter applications on Eclipse, but apparently some person in the community is building an Eclipse plugin, so you will be able to do Flutter applications on Eclipse. It's not available yet, and it's not done by Flutter team, but someone in the community. So, but technically right now you cannot build apps on Eclipse. And all right. Wow, Smith is the next leader. So next question. What is Flutter in Dart's bluebird called? It's the bird, this bird you see on the screen. Fly, dart, dash, hummingbird. Yes, it is Dash. Yeah, her name is Dash. And yeah, so people call me mother of dashes because I keep sending people dash, a lot of dash, but it is actually created another person in our team, Shams. Shams is our tech writer. She wrote all the Flutter documentation you saw on the Flutter page, and she also created dash, and now dash is so popular. All right, let's see who the leader is. Okay, leaderboard hasn't changed yet. Next question. How many colors does Dash have? I hope you looked at the previous page. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, yes, Dash has 5 colors. Great job. Okay, so next question. Let's see the Smith. Great job. Okay. Next question. When should you use hot restart over hot reload? When you change the color of an icon within a widget build function, when you don't want to return main, when you modify a global variable outside of a class, when you don't want to rebuild the whole app widget tree. All right, okay. The answer is when you modify global variable outside of the class, you do hot restart over hot reload. I will also talk about hot reload in the slides. So, okay, let's look at the leadership board. All right, it hasn't changed. So, 10th question. Okay, what is the name of the latest stable Flutter version? And 2 weeks ago, Flutter Ice Cream, Flutter 1.15, Flutter 1.16, Flutter 1.17. All right, yeah, wow, 6 people knew that. Yes, we announced Flutter 1.17 stable version 2 weeks ago. You can find all the details in the blog post. We announced it on Twitter. And last question. Let's see. Oh, Dave, Smith, and Hammond, the top 3 people. Let's see if it's going to change, okay? Are you ready for the next question? Yes? No? Yes, all right, okay. Oh, no, this is not the last, sorry. At what event has the Flutter 1.0 version has been announced? Google I/O, Flutter Interact, Flutter Live, Flutter 1.0. All right, yes, Flutter Live. It was 2018 in December. We have announced the production version of Flutter at the Flutter Live. It is not Google I/O. I know it was so tricky. So let's see. Wow, okay, Dave, Smith, and Hammond. Hey, I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but like the top 3 people, great job. So last question. Okay. What is the name of the major digital event is Flutter holding in June 2020 this year? Google I/O, Flutter Interact, Flutter Day, Flutter I/O. All right. 1 second. And Actually, it should have been Flutter Day. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is my fault. This has to be fixed. I'm so sorry. But the 7 people actually, you knew right. It is Flutter Day. Flutter Interact was last year. But let's see if it changed the top 3 people on top. So, oh, Luis. Oh my gosh. Sweet. And Dave. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I actually
yeah.
entered the Flutter
Yeah,
Day,
so
the right answer.
I can also say, okay, so I'm gonna send dashes for the first 5 people. I'm sorry, it was my mistake. I also saw their name in below. So Sumit, Dave, Luis, Hemang, and then another person. Congratulations, you are the top people. Okay, so this is the end of the quiz. And
congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, congratulations.
It was really amazing. Thanks.
Yeah, it was so fun. Thank you for joining. Really, so there was a lot of necessary and unnecessary Flutter information in this game, but I hope you had fun. So for that 5 people, if you can send your information either to me or Linda, your shipping information, so I'll send you the dashes once we have access to our inventory. Okay. Cool. And thanks again.
In a Meetup, you can send a private message to us and we will send everything to Nilay.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. So I also have FF slides just very quickly. So can you see my screen? Yes, no?
We can see your screen.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about FF like Flutter thing. But before that, I said I used to be a GDG. What is that?
Can you push present so we can see it bigger? Can you push present?
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I used to be a GDG organizer when I was in Istanbul, Turkey. So this was like, I'm talking about 8 years ago. And then like, of course, I had a full-time job, and then I was also doing a lot of GDG events like that. And it is like people were asking me why I was really spending time for the GDG events, or why I was going to event myself. And that time, actually, I didn't really know the answer, right? Like why? It's just like, yeah, I see people, and then I learn other technologies, I meet people, I ask my questions, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, that wasn't real answer. And then some time later, I just realized that, oh, actually, I do a lot of network because of those GDG thing, and I meet a lot of people and companies and developers. And all of a sudden, I was at a point that I knew a lot of people. And for example, if I want to change a job, I just like called someone in, and then just say, hey, I need a job, and they just hire me. So it was a very selfish thing. And then a few years later, my husband found a job in the United States, and we said, hey, yeah, we are moving to United States. And then I left all my network and all the community and everything in Istanbul, and we moved here in the United States. And I was like, oh, okay, I have to find a job, but what am I gonna do, right? Who would hire me? Just think about all the imposter syndrome. Why would people hire me? I cannot even speak their language. And then when I was like looking for a job, I also contacted the people at Google who are supporting the GDGs and said, hey, I moved here, I left GDG, and also I'm looking for a job here. And what they told me is, oh, actually, we're looking for a community manager for our GDGs, because I think, yeah, you did some good job in Turkey. And I was like, are you sure? Like me? Like, are you asking me? And then I joined Google. And when I was doing those like GDG work, I never thought that this would, or these connections would help me to find a job at Google in a foreign company, which I cannot even speak their languages. So this is why I just wanted to mention this very quickly, because the community thing, the people in the community, and all the time I spend in the community actually created different path for me. So I'm so glad you're joining this community meetup today. And for the organizers, thank you again. And I hope this will also end up really good things for you too. And now Flutter. So yeah, I joined the team at Google, and then a few years later, I started hearing from the community about Flutter. People were like, "Oh, there's a technology called Flutter. We want speakers for that. We want resources for that." And I didn't know what Flutter was then. But since the community kept asking about it, I was like, okay, let me look at this. And then I joined the Flutter team in the developer relations team. And what Flutter is that, Flutter is the Google's SDK to build applications for mobile, web, and desktop from a single code base. So the application you build actually will be native application, and you will be able to build very beautiful application. So I don't know if you're familiar with the app development things a few years back. So if we look at a few years back, the mobile application development approaches, there were only two approaches in your way, right? One is you could either build a native application for Android device or for iOS device. And then, so of course, you have to use different programming languages, different tools, different platforms. At the end, yes, you create great applications, native apps, beautiful apps, very powerful apps, because you are creating those apps specifically for those devices. But to be able to achieve that, the path is a bit challenging because you have to maintain different projects. If you want to make change in one of the app, you have to do on the other one. So you have to spend a lot of resources. Or you could just choose a cross-platform approaches like PhoneGap or Adobe Air. Yes, you could create the app quickly from one single code base, but the application you have is not actually a native app. It was a web application put in a mobile shell. So it may not have worked as you wanted. You may have some lags and then the performance issues because it's not a native app. So Flutter just comes in this point and it says Flutter combines native performance and quality with high velocity development and multi-platform outreach. So Flutter offers the best of both these worlds. You will be able to create applications from one single code base, but the application you have is at the end native application, high quality and high performance application. And it is all because of Flutter's structure, Flutter's layered structure. So Flutter is actually an engine. It's like a game engine in the bottom. As you can see on the light blue part here, it's on Skia. And on top of that engine, there's a framework part, and it is all written with Dart. And everything on that framework part is widgets. So everything is layered widgets. So there are material widgets, there are Cupertino widgets. If you want to make animation or gestures, everything is a widget. And the good part of this layered app structure is that if you decide to change your application structure or architecture, it is so easy to go and change that part. So you don't have to recreate everything from scratch. So this is the beauty of Flutter. So Flutter is actually created by 3 engineers at Google. So a few years ago, there were 3 engineers in the Google web team. And they were like, okay, how can we have the web performance in the mobile devices? And they started this project. And they first started with JavaScript, but they had some blocker issues. And then they were like, oh, okay, there's another programming language from Google. Dart, let's try with that. And with Dart programming language, Flutter is what we have today. So when we're talking about Flutter, we talk about these 4 pillars, right? Like the first one is beautiful. You can create beautiful applications with Flutter because Flutter allows you to control every pixel on the screen. So usually the designers create the design and then they go to developers and say, hey, can you implement this? And developers actually don't like it, right? If you may be aware of that. But with Flutter, it is so easy. So as you can see on the app, on the screen, so you can create very interactive designs, very beautiful and creative designs with Flutter easily. easily. And it is also with a lot of ready-to-use material and Cupertino widgets that helps you to build these beautiful UIs. And Flutter is fast because Flutter directly compiles to the native code. And it does not use JavaScript bridges. This is why the performance is always high in the Flutter applications. As you can see on this app, there are animations, there is text, there is image, and everything just works on top of each other and very smoothly. And Flutter allows you to build applications in a very productive way because of some developer-friendly features like hot reload, right? So in the past, before the hot reload kind of technologies, when you make a change on the screen, you have to rebuild the app, right, to see that change. But with Flutter right now, with hot reload, what change you make on the screen, you just see it on the screen in a few seconds. So someone in the community said that, oh yeah, I don't like Flutter because I lost those breaks in between builds to get coffee. And so also some teams at Google, they rebuilt their applications with Flutter. And what they told us is that Flutter is 3 times productive for all the cycles. And this is huge. And of course, Flutter is open source, right? So every integration you want to make in the Flutter apps are done by packages. For example, if you want to map into your app, or if you want to integrate machine learning, you use packages. And all those packages are listed at pub.dev. So the beauty is that, so yes, those packages are mostly written by Googlers, but also most of them are written by the external community people. So for example, someone needed a package or a company needed a package, and then they just created that package. They use themselves, but also the other people use that. And another person just used it. Oh, actually, I could add this one, this to this package, and then they started contributing. So this is the beauty of Flutter. Everything is very open and everything is very collaboratively done. You know, it has a lot of GitHub stars on GitHub, a lot of contributions, and the exciting part is that there are 10,000 applications just since this April. I think a lot of people use this pandemic as an opportunity to learn Flutter and create applications with Flutter. And since you can create very fast apps with Flutter, a lot of people just created a lot of applications since April. And of course, you want your app to be beautiful, right? You want your apps to be interactive with your users because it's competitive right now. People should be using your app over others. And this is why people usually prefer animations. And to add an animation into your app is just a few lines of code because animations is also a library in Flutter. And of course, web, right? You also want to reach out your users on web. And thanks to Dart programming languages flexibility, you can create web applications easily from the same code base. So, but to create web applications is tricky, right? Because your app has to meet some certain criteria. For example, your app has to be fast, your app has to be jank-free, or minimum works on 60 frames per second. So with Flutter and Dart, it is so your web application is meeting these criteria. And also your app should show the consistent behaviors between other platforms and on web. Or there are a lot of different browsers, right? And also there are a lot of updates coming to browsers every day. So your app should work all the same on those versions. So with Flutter Web, your app works consistently in all of those different browsers. If you want to see an example app, just you can look at this web application. So is everyone still there? Are we good? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Tori.
Perfect. Okay. So, and the exciting thing about Flutter is that there are a lot of companies started using Flutter, like Capital One and Square created an API for Flutter, and Alibaba. I don't know if you know, Google services don't work in China, but to be able to use Flutter, Alibaba created their own version of Flutter, and they do a lot of work on that, and they started doing applications with Flutter. And of course, at Google, there are so many teams creating their apps with Flutter again. Like, for example, Stadia, the new gaming console from Google, they created app with Flutter. Also, Google makes money from Google Ads, right? Google doesn't make money from Flutter. And the app for Google Ads, both internally and externally, it is built with Flutter. Also, if you heard of Fuchsia, the new operating system from Google, there's also only little part of is open source, but the rest will be coming in the upcoming years. And all that UI is Flutter. So Flutter is also used a lot of in the Google technologies and Google products, and this is the exciting part about Flutter. And if you want to see some of the good apps, you can just visit this page, and then you will see all the cool apps. And let's say that, and you just now loved Flutter because of my presentation, of course, and how you can start using Flutter. You can either start an app from scratch, or you don't need an app, but if you just need a prototype, of course, it is very easy to do that with Flutter. Or just say that you have an Android app, but you don't have an iOS app. Of course, you can just build your app with Flutter for both platforms. Or you can add pages with Flutter into your existing Android app. There is an existing team working just for this project in the Flutter team, and they are so excited to announce that soon. So, and to start with Flutter, I think the best resource is the original documentation, because they are very clear. You just go and start, and it will create you a simple sample project. You can start building on top of that project. And we have also Flutter YouTube channel, and my team members do a lot of great videos. And The Boring Show is one of them. I think this is a great show because, all the demos, right? All the videos, the products are work perfect, right? There is no bug. There is nothing not working. But in real life, it's not the fact, right? When you're building things, there are a lot of crashes, a lot of bugs. You have to debug things. It doesn't work, and it's just like it just doesn't work as in the demos, right? So this is exactly what's shown in The Boring Show. These are two of my team members. They sit on the camera and they build a Flutter app. Sometimes they crash the app. They have bugs. They debug. They go to Stack Overflow and search code. So this is exactly how we do it. So this is why it's a great show to overcome the imposter syndrome and feel, oh, it is normal. But if you don't like the longer videos, there are also shorter videos like Widget of the Week. You can just watch and see a widget every week. And we just recently announced the Codepen Support. So, Codepen, you can create very creative visuals on Codepen website. Now you can also build Flutter things on that. And we call them Flutter Pens. I don't know if you have seen on Twitter, but there are crazy people. They just clone Netflix, Slack, Twitter on the Codepen without installing any kind of Flutter tools, just on the web on Codepen, and it is crazy. And here's a free Flutter course. If you want to start, there's another resource. And this is also a very good course. A lot of people said good things about this. It is right now free if you want to try from this link. And of course, community, right? Flutter speed really comes from the community, because there are so many people in the community. They talk about Flutter, they help each other, they answer the questions, they fix the documentation, they fix the code, they send comments on GitHub. So this is the beauty of Flutter. So we have a team, but of course we cannot do everything by ourselves, right? But the community, thanks to community, Flutter is really strong. So for example, Linda and like GDG organizers are running these meetups. You can join, you can meet each other, you can ask questions, and of course other Flutter meetups too. So it is a lot of opportunity for the people in the community. So thanks to our community for all the things they do. And on June 25th, we have one day Flutter Day. There will be 3 different live stream segments. There will be people from the Flutter team. They will be sharing some exciting news about Flutter. And also we have updated and new code labs will be announced that day too. If you want to watch all these things, you can just register at this address, and then you will receive notification about that. And if you are a GDG organizer or Flutter Meetup organizer, you can join this celebration by running a meetup in between those live streams, so you can also talk things with your community. And I think that's all I want to say today. And I'll stop presenting.
Thank you. Can you share those two links? At least the course. I'm not sure if I got it right. If you can share yours. And Flutter Day, I already know because I registered myself. But the course that the app brewery, I'm not sure if I got it right.
Okay, so I actually put my slides here, and you can get all the links for Flutter Day and yeah, everything here. Everyone can have access to this presentation.
Okay. I shared some links already online. Does
Yes.
anyone have any questions for Nilay? If you are shy, you can post the questions in chat. If you are not shy, you can unmute yourself and ask the questions yourself. So let's see.
Yeah, I see some thank yous in the chat. Thank you so much. And I see, oh, James is eating really good, something I really like. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Guacamole, my favorite. Guacamole.
Oh, I see a Turkish name in the chat. Hi, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, Mehmet.
Mehmet,
Yes,
Hi.
I'm Mehmet. I'm from Turkey.
Hi. Are you in the
Hi.
US?
No, I'm not in US. I'm in Yalova now, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Thanks for joining. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was working on a project and I just notified by this meeting, and but it was a little bit late, and unfortunately I didn't join your Kahoot game. It was really
You missed the fun part.
yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. Nice to see you here.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I wanted to ask you something, Nilay. I don't know. Do you have any problems shipping overseas? Just in case, I'm asking because
It depends on which country. So if you are not in the US, and if you are not in the US, and if you want a price today, we may need to check if we can do shipping to your country. I'm sorry about that. I thought everyone would be yes, but yeah, let's talk. I'll do my best. I'm sorry.
lately there is a problem with all this shipping. I order a few things like 1 month, they don't arrive, you know.
I know, yeah. I don't expect to be able to ship them soon because our inventory is closed, but also your country is, if we can do a Google shipping that, I will be able to. Otherwise, yeah, we'll find a way. We'll talk. Yeah. I see a question in the chat. Which the key difference between React Native and Flutter? So I think React Native is also, you know, the multi-platform development kit from Facebook. They're very similar, but I think there's one key difference between them because Flutter, you know, for React Native, you use JavaScript, right? And with JavaScript, there are some bridges in between code and the machine. But in Flutter and Dart, it is directly compiled to the native code, but there are no bridges. So because of those no bridges, Flutter apps are more performant than React Native apps. There are a few experiments about that. If you search React Native and Flutter performance comparison, you will see a lot of great examples. I think this is one of the differences. And of course, another thing you have, you use JavaScript or for React Native, but you use Dart for Flutter. And yeah, so these are two very similar projects, but there are very little key differences in between them. Yeah.
Another question.
So, a general question: what is coming in the future? I think it is related to Flutter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what is coming from the Flutter? Of course, on the Flutter Day on June 25, there will be a lot of great announcements about Flutter. They won't let me tell you right now, but I will encourage you to watch the live stream on June 25. But of course, there will be a lot of great, like in the longer future, there will be cool updates about web, Flutter for web, because it is in the technical preview right now. And there is some Flutter desktop updates there will be. And oh yeah, and it will be really exciting work because there are really exciting technologies will be supported. And then also add to app, if you have an Android app, but if you want to add Flutter pages, there will be some updates about that. So all these teams are working on that, and hopefully we will have the announcements soon. I read every week, is Flutter Web ready for production? No, Flutter Web is in the technical preview right now. So, but there will be a beta release, and then there will be a production release. And to be honest, we don't know how they will look like. So I won't be able to say you can create your entire web application with Flutter right now. But yeah, we are working on that.
I think there is another question about the Bluetooth or something I saw earlier.
Does Flutter have support for Bluetooth, or is that handled outside of Flutter? I don't know the answer to this question, actually. I'm sorry. Does anyone know in the call know about this?
We can Google it. I remember first time when I started last year, I didn't have experience with Flutter, and I told everybody, don't ask questions. Jim should remember when I asked, I says, don't ask question, and Chad, the first one, he was asking a question. I was terrified. There are another question in chat.
The first one I saw, desktop apps are similar to Electron apps, multi-platform like Linux supported. So whatever I'll tell right now, there will be a lot of good announcements about desktop soon. I don't know when. So yeah, we are really working on that. There might be changing things, but you will hear a lot in the future, and they will be more concrete than what I would say right now. And do I have to learn Dart language before learning Flutter? Yeah, actually, so when you start learning Flutter from the Flutter documentation, you will be creating your app with Dart, right? And then there will be a lot of guidance and then examples. So I think if you want to build Flutter app, you can just go and start from that Flutter documentation. So you don't have to go through from Dart before. Of course, if you're familiar with any kind of object-oriented programming language before, it is better. But if not, it's not like it is still so easy to go and just start with Flutter. You don't have to go through before Flutter. But in case you want to see how it looks like before starting, there is a Java to Dart code lab on the Dart website if you want to see how it looks like. All right. Any other question?
Anyone want to unmute themselves to ask a question? No? Jim, no questions today? He's always Jim, Glenn.
No.
They always have...
No, thank you for taking the time, though, to give a presentation. And thank you, Linda and Chad and you guys for maintaining this group month to month. It's really great, and I love seeing the large number of people who are signing up at the meetup to join you each month. It's super. I remember a year ago when we'd have a meeting and 4 people would show up, and now look, you're 60 people.
By 4 people, right?
Yeah.
I think this pandemic and lockdown made us to be international. I will never expect it. If it wasn't this, we will never do this kind of meetups, and maybe we will never have Nilay here with us. Who knows? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, of course, online meetups are easier to attend, and I'm glad that I don't have to travel to join this one, but it's really nice seeing everyone today.
I would add that I've gotten a lot of use out of the Hump Day Q&A that Scott Stoll and Simon Lightfoot are online every Wednesday, like all day long. And you just pop on the Zoom meeting, get the link from Slack, and they've been a great help, because we've done shared screens before, and Simon will take control of my screen and just help me with a problem, and we'll work it out together and get some good advice. And then if you don't have a problem to solve, just to sit and watch Simon or Scott take control of somebody else's computer and look at the problem they're trying to solve. It's been a nice help. I always learn something every Wednesday. I try to get a few minutes where I can pop in.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. What they do for the Flutter community is amazing.
Yeah. And the Slack community, everybody can join it. If you go in the flutter.dev, I will share my screen. Just 1 second.
I feel bad in Slack, because you get in there and you see someone, it looks like they spent an hour just crafting a question, and this list is like no answers.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's so bad. You ask a question and you don't get an answer. It happens. It happens a lot, though.
So I think if you go, can everybody see my screen? So if you go here in the flutter.dev website, I think here in the community, right? Am I right?
Yes.
There is the GitHub, the Google Groups, and the Slack. If you want to join the Discord, everything is here. So lots of resources. Anybody else want to ask any question?
Okay. All right. So if there's no other question, I want to thank you again for organizing this, for having me and joining the call today. It's awesome. Hope to see you at other events.
Thank you. I have Alexa hear something, and I forget. I have always to mute her otherwise.
All right.
Google sometimes.
Yes. And top 5 people, please reach out to Meetup and send your shipping address, and we will send you a dash.
Do you have the names? Can you send me a screenshot, Nilay, or something with the names?
Okay, I'll look at that. But do you know the 5 people? Do you know who you are?
I know only the first 3 I took a screenshot, but the other 2 I don't know.
Okay, there was also, and let me see.
This way I will see when they contact me.
Okay, sounds good. I'll check the Kahoot and then let you know, Linda, okay? I can't find a 5th person right now.
Okay, that's okay. Perfect.
Okay, thank you again. It was great seeing you. Take care.
Thank you. So,
Thank you.
no more questions. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We will continue with the code lab.
Thanks a lot,
Nice to
Nilay.
see you, Nilay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So we will continue with the code lab. Is everybody ready for coding? So, of course, if you go in the Flutter website, you have documentation, you have showcase if you want to see apps that are built with Flutter. There is, and you can even explore more apps. So. As I told you in the beginning, to build our app today, we will not use the IDE. You are free to use it, but we will use a code sandbox in the browser, and we have 2 choices. It's up to you which one you like to use. So one is the Dartpad. If you go to dartpad.dev Flutter, I'll put it in this chat for you. 1 second. You can go directly there and build your app as we walk you through today. And the other option that we have, it's Codepen, as I told you earlier. But what we will do, I will send you the link. 1 second, so you don't have my here. We will go to codepen.io.flutter. So if you don't have an account, you can log in with your GitHub account, I think. So I will do mine in Codepen, but definitely you can do the same thing in Dartpad. It's totally up to you. I wanted only to show you quickly here. If you go here, there are showcases. No, here in try a template. Only to show you what apps people build with the Flutter. So 1 second. This is one beautiful that I really like it. It works quickly. So as you scroll, has this animation. They presented this up at Flutter Interact last year in December when I went to New York City. So I really liked it. It's really beautifully done. So, but there are more. It's not only this. There are other apps, and you can go to see, and you write your code directly here in the left-hand side. But if you want to code in Codepen, please make sure you open Flutter editor. Can you see this button here? So when you go to codepen.io/Flutter, you have to open Flutter editor. Otherwise, if you open a normal Codepen, it will not work. So it has to be in this editor. And sorry. And here are some pens that you can see. Templates. So these are a few templates. If you like to explore and see what you can see the code base, what they use, and you can build it yourself, learn from it, and so on. So let's go to open a new. I don't want that one. I want to open a, oh man, I hate my mouse when I do that. So you go to open a new editor, and you will have this code in here. Does everybody has a Dartpad, or here is, you can run. If you push this button to run it, it will show you the app, but we will not use this code. And here it's showing you. You can go to name it as you like. Let's say Flutter Study Gem. I will call mine. You can call it how you like it. And when I save it, it's saving it in my library, or how you can call it, how we call it, in my pens. This is a code sandbox. Can everybody see my presentation? So I will go a little bit to explain you a few things, and after we will start to code. First, I will show you the code. If you have problems, anyways, I will post always the snippets of code in the chat, so you can code with us alone. And in the end, I will share with you the link of all the app, and you will have all the code. So don't worry, if you miss something now, you will be able to have the video and the code and everything. So let's go to see what we got here. So in this code lab that we will do today walks you through writing your first Flutter app on the web. So far what we did, 1 second here. So what we did in all our meetups, we build Android and iOS apps. But today we will build a web app with Flutter. I was trying to find something that we can do in a Dartpad or in a Codepen, only to avoid you to get frustrated if you have any problems and you cannot follow along. If everything works for you in the IDE, you can use or Visual Studio Code or Android, whatever works for you, or Android Studio. I usually use Android Studio, but you can use both of them, which one works for you. So if you prefer to first to go to build a Flutter mobile app, you will have the link to do so, but also you have the links of the labs that we did last year, so you can go through. Note that if you have downloaded and configured Android and iOS tooling, the completed app just works on all of those devices. So if you use your IDE, the app that we are building today, it will work in all the devices. Simulator, emulator, and so on. So this guide is to creating your first web app. If you are familiar with object-oriented programming and concepts such as variable, loops, and conditioners, you can complete this tutorial. You don't need previous experience with Dart, mobile, or web programming. We will provide you with everything. So what we will build today, we will build this sign-up app that you see here. So we will be implementing the app that displays the sign-up screen. The screen contains 3 fields: the first name, last name, and username. As the user fills out the fields, a progress bar animates along at the top of the sign-in area. When all the 3 fields are filled in, the progress bar displays in green along with the full width of the sign-in area, and the sign-up button becomes enabled. And clicking the sign-up button takes you to the welcome screen to animate in form the button of the screen. So you can see here in the left-hand side, the GIF, it's showing you that if the user fills the first field, it's orange, and after becomes yellow, and after green from red. Okay, so initially it should be red. So what you will learn today: how to write a Flutter app that looks natural on the web, basic structure of a Flutter app, how to implement a tween animation, how to implement a stateful widget, and how to use a debugger. But we will not do that. I forgot to. How to use the debugger to set breakpoints. You can take care of that on your own. You will have all the instructions in the code lab. I will send you the link. So what you will need, I left everything, as you see, the things that we are not using today, I left everything because many things is better for you to know, but few things we will not use because I wanted to adapt it for an online meeting. So you will need for today only the Chrome browser with the Dartpads or Codepen. If you are using the IDE, you will need to set up your Flutter SDK, and of course you will need your IDE. For the web-only code lab, so Google recommends either IntelliJ IDEA or VS Code. Android Studio and Xcode are required. They are heavier. I use Android Studio. Only for Flutter. Usually I use VS Code. Maybe I will try to see how works Flutter in VS Code. You can also use a text editor if you prefer. But I think it will be easier if you use one of these IDs because you have auto-completion and many other features that will help you with your development, and it will make it easier. As you see, as you saw in our meetups last year, in order to create a block of a stateless widget, which is huge, enormous amount, you just write ST. For a stateless widget, you write only STL and push tab, and it's auto-completing, and you have only to give it the name, and you have all the code in place. Or if you want a stateful, ST F and STL for stateless. So I really like the IDEs because it breaks down all your code. It's so easy to write it, and you don't have to know all the syntax. Of course, sometime if you learn it, you can write it down all, but I really enjoy it when we was using it. So we will watch few, I think only 2 videos I have. It's only 1.5 minutes each. This is from the Flutter widget of the week that we was talking earlier. And this in particular talks about the builder, and we will use builder more than once in the widget builder. And that's why I wanted to show you this short video. So if you are not familiar yet, at least you know a few words about it, okay? Can everybody hear my audio? Can everybody unmute themselves?
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Most of the time, widgets in Flutter build without looking up any extra information about their parents. But sometimes you might write some code where the child widget needs to access the build context of a parent widget in the same build method. That's what the builder widget is for. This scenario usually happens if you're accessing an inherited widget like scaffold, navigator, theme data, media query, or some methods of state management. The most common way to tell if you're in this situation is if you're looking up information about a widget created in the same build method using an of call. One way to solve this is by putting the child widget tree into a separate standalone widget with its own build method. But sometimes that makes one of the build methods so small or simple, it feels silly to break it into standalone widgets. That's where the builder widget is useful. Just wrap a builder around whatever child widget needs the build context to access something from its parent, and you're good to go. Much like other closures, Builder will ensure that the parent widgets are fully built first, so you can look them up via the build context in the child widget. The child widget tree will get constructed when the builder function, which is passed into the builder widget, gets called. But as a reminder, you can also accomplish exactly the same thing by making a standalone widget for that child widget tree. And that's really all there is to it. The builder widget is a simple widget to get you an updated build context when you need it. For more info on Builder and all the other Flutter widgets, head over to flutter.dev.
Okay, so this was about the builder widget. So you will see that most of our widgets uses the widget build. So I wanted you only to have a little bit idea. I really like this widget of the week because in 1.5 minutes, it gives you an overview. If you don't have time to watch videos like half an hour, 1 hour, and things like this, you can watch it in a little break and so on. So we will start to build our app. We have this starter web app that is provided by Flutter team. So as you see, I will explain a little bit this code. You can try to type it in your code sandbox, Dartpen or Codepen, whichever works for you, but I will also provide it on the chat. So as you know, in every app, we are importing at the top the Flutter material Dart package. After we are defining our main function that is running our sign up app, because as you saw, one second, as you saw here, this is our screen. So what we are building today is this sign up app. We will have first name, last name, and username. Also keep in mind that today we will not do validation of this app, but if you are joining us in July 14, I think, we have a meetup with Paul Ruiz from Google. we will do a form, a sign up form, and we will add the validation to it. So today we will build only this app, but will not be a validation, will be only the progress bar. You will have like a UI validation, but it will not be the one that you want to use in production for your code. So as you see, in the main app, we only declare our sign up app that we will run, and we will go here and we will write it. So usually in Flutter, you declare this. So we have two kinds of widgets: stateless widgets and stateful widgets. So what is the difference between stateless and stateful? Is that the stateless widgets, they don't change their UI. They don't change their state. Stateful widgets, we will use even stateful widgets, but mainly in the beginning, when you get in the first screen, your app, it doesn't have a state. When we build our form, we will have state, and we will use a stateful widget. So usually you don't want to use too much state in your app, so you will use mostly stateless, but when it's needed, you need to use the stateful widget. So the stateful widget, to give you an example only so you know, it's, for example, if you have a form and you complete the form and you start to type in the form, like in our case today, you will see we will use stateful, because the UI needs to be repainted. I'm sorry. So every time, every keystroke, because the UI has to show what you entered. In case you made a mistake, you can delete and go back and so on. So each time you make a change, you click a radio button or a check button, or you type in your name, your username, or your password, everything, the app has to rebuild your UI. So in that case, you use stateful widgets, because you need to manage the state. Stateless widgets in general, they don't change the UI. Nothing is changing. So you don't need to handle the state. So you use a stateless widget, like in this case. And this is the syntax for a what I was saying earlier. So if we had an IDE, you could write only, without even capital, STL, hit tab, and all this code will pop up for you, and you will write only sign up, and it will show all this for you, and you will not have to write one line of code. So, and here we will declare our first route, which will be the home, where you pass the context and the sign up screen, which we will declare on the next page. 1 second. Do you like me to put now this code in the Word? I have like 3-4 slides, and after I can put all this code in the chat, and you can copy it and paste it. Or if you want me to to type it, I can wait a few minutes for you. Can somebody give me some feedback in chat what you would like to do? So let's see. Do we have? It says yes, but I don't know. So does anyone like to have the code right away, or you would like to wait until we are done with these 4 slides and you will have the code? Okay. Oh, there is some feedback. Let's see what it says. Here it says you can demonstrate right now. Okay, so I will show you. I will tell you a few things about the code, and after I will paste it all the starter app in the chat, so you can run it and see how it looks like. And after we will make some modifications to it, because it will not work right away. We will have to go through few steps to make it work. Okay, so this is our sign up app, that it's the main app. Always in Flutter, everything it's a widget. So we will have this sign up screen in this sign up. Okay, so here again, for today I have so much trouble with the presentation. It's so sensitive, I don't know why. So now we are writing our sign up screen. It's always a stateless widget. Only when we create the form down, you will see that we are using the stateful widget here at the bottom. So again, for the sign up screen, we will use a stateless widget. If we was in IDE, we will just write STL, hit tab, and we will have all of this code done for us. We will have only to write the sign up screen, and we will return in here in our build widget, we will return a scaffold, and we will give it a color. In this case, will be a color gray, and the amount of gray is 200. In Flutter, you have from 100 to 900 the shades of gray. So this is like a lighter gray. And inside of the scaffold, you have another widget, which is a center widget that has a child of sized box. For what we use this size box? To create space. So we will give it a width of 400. So this sign up form, it's a sized box, but many times we are using this, if you remember from last year or other meetups that we had, when we needed to create some space in between the fields, we always use this sized box. So in this case, we give it a width of 400, and inside of it, oh, I hate my mouse today. We have a child that is a card, and inside of it, we have finally our sign up form, which you can see here at the bottom of this slide. It's a stateful widget in this case. And inside of it, we are returning the sign up form state. We will go to finally manage our state, our form state. So I will go to the next slide. So if you didn't make it on time to type all of this, the beauty when you have an IDE, when you start to type, you can quickly hit tab after each word, and it's auto-completing for you, and it's really nice. So in Codepen and in Dartpad, you will not have this available, and you will have to type in each word. So only so you know. So here we are going to declare our sign up form state. So we will go to manage our state. I couldn't put all of the code of this state widget in one slide because it will be very small. So I think I broke it in two. So it's ending in this page. So if you see here, you don't see all the code. So when you start to write, let's say you arrive here, like and you open your curly brace, it will close it down here. Okay. So here at the top, we declared our variable. I wanted only to mention this. If you are not familiar with Flutter, you will see this underscore in Flutter. Every function when you add the underscore, it makes it private to that function. So the state will be private to our function that we declare here, the stateful widget here. So this will sign up form state. The state will be private to this class sign up form. So only so you know why is this underscore. And we are declaring the our three text editing controllers, which are our three text fields: our first name, last name, and username. And also we will set our form progress, or progress form in English, to 0, and it will be a double. And here at the top, and we are continuing our stateful widget. Continues here. You will have your build method. You will return finally your form. Here is only the initial form, so we will go to modified step by step in the next steps. So inside the form, we will have, as you know, the three text fields. So first of all, our form will have a widget, a child as a column, because it will be only one column. For this case, we will have to declare, and if you go to read documentation, you will understand more. We will have to declare this main axis size to align our form, our fields, one under the other. And this child column will have 3 children, which are actually, 3 children plus the linear progress indicator, which is the bar at the top. And this is the value of it. So, and you will take the, and also, give me 1 second. And we have the sign up title. 1 second. So, here. So we have this, the progress bar. We have the sign up, and we have these 3 text fields, and we have the sign up button. Okay, so here is our the syntax for our linear progress indicator. And if you go to Google, or if you go in the Flutter documentation, you can read for each, because each of these is a give me just 1 second, I will show you linear progress indicator. Usually you go in here in documentation, and you can go linear progress indicator, or twin animation, or whatever we are working. And let's see, progress animation, I think you have to search, and you can read progress animation, I think it's called. I hope so. Animation. Okay, animation tutorial. Animation. Let's see if it's this the first one, or so. You can go in here and you can read more, and you have even if you go in the cookbook, I will show you the cookbook. Here is the widgets catalog, and you can go to get familiar with the widgets and animate builder, let's say. Let's see if I can find quickly the one that we're using today. Otherwise, we will see anyways even a video. But so you can go here, and you can see even a video. You have some sample code and things like this. So if you are really into learning, there are many resources. And here you can see all the methods and the properties, the constructors, and so on. So usually going, and I told you that I will tell you about the cookbook. I hope so. I wrote it correctly. I don't think so. I think here. Let's see. So if you go here in the cookbook, you have a lot of examples. You can see how to build a form with validation, how to create a style, the gesture, images, lists, navigation, networking person. Everything you need, you have it. So animate, here is the route transition and everything you have. So really interesting. And here you have the code labs, the tutorials. I want to show you how to find it, because many times you might lose the links that we give you, but seeing how you can find it, I think it will make your life easier. Well, let's see where we was here. Okay. So what we was talking. Okay, so we have the text widget, which displays only the sign up, and we give it a style, theme of, do you remember from the video context, text theme, and the headline 4, which means is a headline H4 size. And also we will include our 3 text fields, and how we do it, to separate them. We are adding a little bit of padding, which and inside of the padding we are declaring, of course, the padding, which is 8.0 insets, so all over all sides. And inside of it we are placing our first text form field, which is the controller first name that we declared here at the top. First name text controller, and the decoration input decoration, we have a hint text first name, which is that how you call it, when you go to fill a form, you have that hint what should be in that field and so on. And after you wrote this, you can go copy and paste it, and you get this other fields, which is the last name, that is the same like the first name, and the username. And in the end, we will have this flat button, which we will give it a color of blue. The text, we will give it a color of white, and in the beginning will not do nothing. So when on pressed, it will be nothing, and inside we have a text child that says sign up. So now I will go to copy and paste in our chat this code for you, so you can copy and paste it. If you cannot make it to copy and paste it now, don't worry, I will send you all. Here I have limitation, doesn't let me put all the code. Okay, so give me just a second. I didn't take into consideration that we will have limitations, so from sign up screen. So this is the first part. So you have only the first sign up screen. I'm copying the next one. And we will go, if you copy exactly in this order as I'm pasting it, after that we will go to modify this code, so you can follow along. Here I might be forced to break it down because it's too much and it will not let me. Let's do like this. Yes. And I will do the same, and I will show you. So, this last stateful widget, I might have to break it down in few parts, so this doesn't. Let me say text. form. Let's do from the children. So this one, the code doesn't end here. It's ending, I will tell you, at the end. So this one, it's same part of code. Maybe we should look into using in the future our Slack channel or something. It's easier to paste code in Slack, that's for sure. So let's see. Okay. Or maybe I should share. And hooray, we are almost done. Okay. So try to copy and paste all of this code and paste it in your Dartpad or in your Codepen. I will do it in both of them. So far you'll have this form, but doesn't have the animation at the top as soon as we add it, and the button doesn't become active. So we will have to add all this functionality. Okay. Same thing here. If I go in Dartpad and I paste this code that we all have, you should be able to see this form, initial form. Did everybody got this? I'm closing some apps. Did everybody got, can I have some feedback? The code working, the one that I send it to you?
Hey, Linda, I just copied that last bit that ends in the flat button and then all those embraces. And I was able to get the code to show the sign-in screen.
Same as mine, right?
Yeah, it looks like that.
The code is working. I tried it on the Dartpad and the code is working.
Okay.
Before you paste the next one, you should add some equals signs or something so we know where to grab for the next one, if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay. I didn't think of it. But maybe next time I will have to think of another solution. Maybe just share an online document. I will get prepared better. I will prepare better next time.
That's fine. Okay. I'm able to follow along.
Okay, perfect. I was thinking to code along with you guys, but it's already 7 and we will not be able to finish it. So I really want to finish it with you. So I'm explaining a little bit. I'm showing you where we have to change it. And after, at the end of the day, you will have this little app working. Okay. So let's go next. So now everybody ran their code and it's working, right? This was only if you use your ID. I don't use the ID. You might, when you use the Android or VS Code, you put your code in the lib folder, main.dart, and there are many steps to do to prepare the project that I didn't show you. But if you do some of the code labs that I showed you in our Git repository from the end of the page, you will walk through how to create a new Flutter project. So here are some observations. So if you know Java, the Dart language should feel very familiar. All the app UI is created with Dart code. For more information, you can go to see the introduction to declarative UI. The app UI is adheres to material design, a visual design language that runs on any device or platform. You can customize the material design widgets, but if you prefer something else, Flutter also offers the Cupertino widget library, which implements the current iOS design language, or you can create your own custom widget library. So as you heard already, and you know from other meetups, Flutter, most everything it's a widget. Even the app itself, it's a widget. So the app UI can be described as a widget tree. So it's a widget in a widget in a widget in a widget. So that's why it's a widget tree. So show the welcome screen. So did you see in the GIF that we have there? But I didn't paste it again here. So from the sign up screen, you go in the welcome page. So now we will go to create a route to take us to the welcome page, because so far we have only the home page. Okay. So the sign up form class, it's a stateful widget. This simply means that the widget stores the information that can change, such as user input or data from a field. Since widgets themselves are immutable, can't be modified once created. So Flutter stores state information in a companion class called state class. In this lab, all of your edits will be made in this private sign-up form state class. So the Dart compile enforces privacy for any identifier prefixed with the underscore, what I was telling you before. So if you want to know more, you can go to effective Dart style guide. So again, if you work in your IDE, we don't, you can your new lib main.dart file or in your main.dart file, add the following class definition for the welcome screen widget after the sign up screen class. So, and I will show you where, but give me just a second. So this is the widget that takes us from the home page to welcome screen, and after we will create the router. So this is always a stateless widget, and inside the build method we have a scaffold that has a center widget that has a child of text, and inside you have only a welcome, and you give it some styles, and the style, it's a text, a headline too. So next you will enable the button to display the screen and create the method to display it. Give me just 1 second. I will go to paste this code for you. Don't run yet the app. You will have some errors. So if you wait until we are, when I tell you to run the app, it will be great. So I will post in chat for you this, and I will show you where you can go to paste this. Okay, here is a break. Okay. So if you go in your Flutter app, so it says that to go to paste your code after the screen up screen, right? So let's go after this screen up screen. So we have sign up screen. So it's here, sign up screen. Can everybody see it? So after the void main class sign up, you have this sign up screen in line 16. So you have to go here before the sign up form, and you will add the new screen, which is your welcome screen. So you have sign up screen and the welcome screen. But the welcome screen, you will see it only after you sign up, okay? So far we cannot see, so I will save mine. Sometimes it doesn't show you the changes unless you save it. So did everybody found where to put their code? I hope so, yes. If you, let's do this. If you have problems, just put a plus or something in the chat, or tell me what is your problem, and I will try to help you. If I don't hear the noise of the chat, means everything is working perfectly for you, okay? So far so good. Here the same. If you go before the...
So Linda, would that be at you're putting that class sign up screen approximately at line 15?
Give me just a second. I tell you quickly. So no, I put it after the line 31. After the sign up screen. So you have the import at the top. You have the void the main app. And after you have the sign up screen, and you have you have the sign up screen, which is this app here. You have the sign up screen here and the welcome screen. So it's exactly after your sign up screen, should be line 33. Maybe next time. I don't know if Codepen has.
You're putting
after the sign up screen.
Extend stateless widget.
Yeah, after that. So after this.
Yep. Line 32. Okay, sorry, I was looking at the
because between each of them I have a space. So if you didn't put a space, yeah, it will be less than that. Okay, I put every widget, after every one I put a space. So let's see. I don't know if anyone wrote. No, nobody wrote nothing. Okay, so what did this? We cannot taste it yet because we will have to go to add here our new route, which will take us instead of and I will show you how. Give me just a second. You can just copy from here, and instead of being slash, it will be slash welcome, or you can call it whatever you like. This is only a test, it's nothing. And here you will call it with this welcome screen. It will be here. Like sign up screen. Here we will have welcome screen. So let's go to see our presentation quickly. So next you will enable the button to display the screen and create a method to display it. So we have to locate the build method for the sign up form state class. This is the part of the code that builds the sign up button. Notice that how the button is defined as a flat button with a blue background, which I already talked about, and white text that says sign up. And when you press it, nothing happens. So this, I will show you where it is. It's almost at the end here. At the end of the code, we have this flat button. And on press does nothing so far, okay? It's almost at the end. So now, only to translate it to make it easier for you to understand. Okay, so we will have to update the on-press property. And we will change the property to call the non-existing method that we will display on the screen, on the welcome screen. And we will also declare this method, but for the moment it is non-existent. So instead of the null, we will put, I don't know what's going on today. We will put this show welcome screen. And we will add, let's read a little bit this slide, and I will show you everything what means. So we will add this show welcome screen method. We will fix you will see as soon as you add it, you will have an error shown by the analyzer that is not defined. So we will directly above the build method, we will add the following function to declare this method. So it will be void show welcome screen navigator of context push name welcome. So it's our route. Now we will add, after this, we will add route welcome route that takes us to the page. And we will create the connection to show the new screen in the build method for the sign up. We will add the file, as I showed you earlier, the welcome context welcome screen, which we declared earlier. And after finally, we can run the code, and we should see, this is impossible. And we should be able to see that is enabled. So we will be able to click to bring up the welcome screen. And we will see how the button, usually when you have a button, they have an animation when you hover it, which is coming by default from the widget. And you get all that behavior for free. You don't have to build it. It's already built in for you. So let's go back here and let's see what we got. So on the on press, so if you go almost at the end, at the line 92, if you put in between some spaces, you but it will be here in the end. So if you go here, instead of that line, I will copy it and paste it for you in the chat, so you don't have to type it in. I'll make it easy for you. Here is. So you will have to place it instead of on press null. Let's go to, and do you see the error? It's not defined, it's telling me, but we will go to fix it. So in order to fix it, I will copy this code and send it to you. 1 second. Show welcome screen. So this, 1 second, save, save it. Again in chat. It's these 2 lines of code. So it says this method, we have to go in directly above the build method, always in here. So we have here our build method in our show welcome screen. What is show welcome screen? Wait a second. You know what? I will search for it. It's easier. I think I was good. It's here. Should be here. So above the build method, we should put. Give me just 1 second to make sure that I don't tell you something wrong. I will. I'll look it up only to make sure.
Does it go above the override statement? So it's inside of class signup form state? Or does it...
Yeah, should be there. Give me just 1 second. I want only to make sure that I'm giving you the... Yeah. Show welcome void show. Actually, it's in a sign up form, override. Control F. Show welcome screen. 1 second. Okay, so it's below. It's exactly in the line 82. Let's see. Line 82. Is not correct because there is different. Okay. The context above the form, above here. So let's put it So everybody can see in line 57, we below the override, we have this form and column and the build method. So should be here. You should place it here, the code that I send it to you. So if you copy and paste it, should be there. So did everybody get it in the right place? It's in
Yes.
the last. It's in the last widget, stateful widget in the sign up form before the override. We place it here. It's very important where you place it, and on time you will get used to it. Only now my eyes. Maybe I should change my glasses because I cannot really see. I cannot see from close. I can see if I stand far away. So I have to change my glasses. Otherwise, it's kind of difficult to see. Okay, so everybody got it. So now, as you can see, our button, it's by default, it's enabled. We will not want to have that functionality. It will not work. If you want now to go to run it, it will not do nothing. Why? Because we didn't declare yet our route. So what we will do, if you go here at the top, can you see? I made it. You can go to copy this, and instead of here, you will write /welcome context. Give me 1 second. And I can copy and paste for you just if you don't feel like to. And we will use the welcome screen, which is this class here for our route. 1 second. So this is our route. And for the route, we go in the beginning. So below the index or home page, or how you want to call it, we will declare our welcome route, which is the next page. You can call it whatever you like. In our case, we call it this, welcome, because the welcome is here. You take it from here, from this function. And the welcome screen, you take it from this stateful widget, which is basically building our page. Okay. So now let's see. We are running. So now you can run the app if you like quickly. Oh. So you can, but it will not have all the functionality. We still have to. It will take you to the next page, but I don't really want to do it. Yeah, let's see. Oh, it does. Oh, okay. So you should be able to see this. I don't really want to go there, but that's okay. Let's see.
You got the welcome page when you hit the button at the bottom for the sign up?
Yeah. 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 So you fill out with anything. This doesn't do any validation. You don't have database. You don't have validation. You don't have nothing. So next month, when we have the next Meetup Flutter with Firebase, we will do the validation for a sign-up form. So it will. You can connect from this Flutter to the next Flutter to go a step further. Okay. So if you ran quickly your app, it should do what I did. I hope so. You got to the welcome page. Here we have another. So I will try to go very quickly. The show welcome screen function is used in the build method as a callback function. Callback functions are often used in Dart code. And in this case, this means call this method when the button is pressed. Flutter has only one navigator object. This widget manages Flutter screen, also called the routes or pages inside the stack. The screen at the top of the stack is the view that is currently displayed. Pushing a new screen to this. So did you see we use the push method to push the route? This stack switches the display to that new screen. This is why the show welcome screen functions pushes the welcome screen into the navigator stack. the users click the button and voila, the welcome screen appears. Likewise, the pop on the navigator returns to the preview screen. We don't have this functionality in our in this specific app. Because Flutter navigation is integrated into the browser navigation, this happens implicitly when clicking in the browser's back arrow button. So let's go now to enable the progress tracking. So this sign up screen has 3 fields. Next, you will enable the ability to track the user's progress on the filling in the form fields and update the app's UI when the form is complete. So as I told you, this example does not validate the accuracy of your user input. That is something that you can add later. If you go, you can just Google or go in Flutter documentation validation form. I showed you earlier in the documentation, you have validation form and you can see how to implement
Linda,
it.
pardon me,
Yeah.
I need to bolt, and I hate to interrupt you, but can you post the link to this page so I can finish this up when I get back?
You mean the Code Lab?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Tonight, after the meetup, I will send to everybody, as you know, I'm sending a follow-up message, and I send you all the links we used today, so you will have everything. So, like, when we finish 8 o'clock, like 8:30, you should receive a message in meetup with everything. Usually, I do that, okay?
All right, yeah, my kids are home. I got a bolt. Thank you.
Yeah, don't worry. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, great having you.
So we will add the method, a method to update the form progress in the sign up form state class and add a new method called update form progress. And actually what I want to know. So here is the code that we will have to put in. Actually, we will go quickly with all of this, and in the end, I will send you the link with the code so you don't have to miss anything, okay? So here we are declaring this update form progress. It's starting on 0, and it's 0.0, and it's ending in 1.0. So we are declaring our controllers of text controllers. Actually, we are taking this that we declared already earlier in our state widget. And we are passing it to this array of controllers, the first name text field, the last name and username. And we are iterating through the controller as a controller. And if the controller is not empty, the progress increments. But also we have to divide it by the length of our array, which is this controllers array. In this case are 3 elements. So we are dividing the progress from 1, we are dividing it to 3. So it will be first 1/3, 2/3, and full state. So, and here we are passing this we will set the state of the form progress to progress. Then this method updates the form progress based on the number of non-empty text fields. And it's calling the update form progress when the form changes. In the build method of the sign up form state class, we will add a callback to the form widget on the change on change argument. We will add the code below, which is marked with new. So now for unchanged, we will add update form progress where we return our form, okay? We will update the on-press property again. In the step 1, we modified on-press property for the sign up button to display the welcome screen. Now we will update the button to display because at the time we didn't have yet the welcome screen. but now we have it. So now we will update it. That the button will display the welcome screen only when the form is completely filled in. So we don't want people to sign up if the fields are not completed or they don't meet the requirements, especially when you will add validation. You want to be met all these requirements. So in we are adding this. This is updated. So on pressed, we take our form progress, and if it's equal with 1, so if it's equal with 1, we will show the welcome screen. Otherwise, we will not show it. Okay. So now we will be able to run the app, and the sign button. It will be initially disabled, but it will come enabled when all the 3 text fields contain any text. I will try to go quickly through the observations. So calling the widget set state method tells Flutter that the widget needs to be updated on the screen. The framework then disposes of the previous immutable widget and its children, and creates a new one with its accompanying child widget tree, and renders it to the screen. For this to work seamlessly, Flutter needs to be fast. The new widget tree must be created and rendered to screen in less than 1/16 of a second to create a smooth virtual transition, especially for an animation. Luckily, Flutter is fast, as you already know. The progress field is defined as a floating value, and it's updated in the update progress form progress method. When all 3 fields are filled in, the progress form is set to 1.0. So we start with 0.0, and in the end, it will, when it's all filled, it's 1.0. When the form progress is set to 1.0, the on-press callback is set to the show welcome screen method. The button is enabled when its on-pressed argument is not null. Okay. So notice that the update form progress passes a function to set state. This is called an anonymous function and has the following syntax, so method and so on, where a method name is a named function that takes an anonymous callback function as an argument. The Dart syntax is the last step that displays the welcome screen is on pressed form progress, so we already did that. Okay, so if it's 1, which means true, is not empty. So if the form is filled, show the welcome screen. Otherwise, no. This is a Dart conditional assignment and has the syntax condition. And you might know this even from JavaScript or from PHP or other coding languages. Condition, if condition, expression 1. Otherwise, so if it's true, expression 1, otherwise expression 2. If the expression progress is equal with 1 is true, the entire expression shows the value on the left hand side, which is the show screen, a method in this case. It's what I told you earlier. So let's go to add quickly the sign-in progress. So it's time to add the animation. So what we will do when what we have to do is when the app starts, a tiny red bar appears across the top in the sign-in area. And after, when the first field is filled in, the red bar turns orange and is animated 1/3 the way across the top. And when the second one is filled in, it turns yellow and the animation is 2/3 across the sign. And when the third field is filled in, the bar becomes orange, and from the orange becomes green and animates all the way to the end, and the sign up button becomes enabled. And to achieve this, we will add an animated progress indicator at the bottom of the file. We will have to add the widget. But before we go, I want you to watch this 1-minute video, which explains you what is this thin animation builder that we are using to achieve this functionality.
Do you want a simple animation, but none of the built-in implicit animation widgets do the trick? Tween Animation Builder is here for all your custom animation needs without having to worry about that pesky animation controller. Using Tween Animation Builder is easy. Set the length of time that you want your animation to run with the duration parameter. Then add your builder method to draw the widget you'll be animating. The type of that second parameter is dependent on what in your widget you'll be animating. In this case, it holds whatever color value we want to apply to our color filter. Lastly, specify the values that you want to animate between using the tween parameter. The type of your tween should match the type of the second parameter in your builder and the class type parameter if you specified it. Now you've got a working custom implicit animation. If you want to modify the way you animate from one value to another, you can set the curve parameter. Add the on-end parameter to be notified when the animation completes. You could even use it to set a new value and animate again. Lastly, as a performance optimization, you can pass in a child parameter so that Flutter doesn't need to rebuild the entire widget tree during the animation. For more on Tween Animation Builder and all the other Flutter widgets, head over to flutter.dev.
So this is the tween animation. So I really wanted you to see this because it's really important. And here is a quick overview how this looks. I will send you quickly the link of this code lab so you can paste the code in your Codepen and you can try it. Give me just 1 second. So this is the animation progress indicator class that it's a stateful widget. And we are declaring this final value, which is a double. The animation, so we are passing this inside of the animated progress indicator, this and the value. And the stateful widget creates state to return our animated progress indicator state. Here is the full widget animate progress indicator state, which goes exactly at the end. Here I broke it in 2 parts so you can see it because this is kind of small and we could not read it. So I broke it, I think, in few parts, and I don't know if in 1 or 2. Let's see how fast we can go through this. So we have this animated progress indicator states to go to manage our state. So, and as you saw there, we pass this animate progress indicator. Here, we are giving it a single trigger provider state mixin. They explain a little bit, but in the video, but you are better off to go to read the documentation. We don't really have time. We are running out of time. I'm trying to. So we will have the animation controller, the animation color, and the curve animation. We are declaring it. To animation color, we will pass a color, and in the curve animation, it's a double. And in the state, we are giving it a super state, and we are passing our controller, which have animation controller. We give it a duration, as you heard earlier, the color. So here what we are doing, because we needed something particular, we are using this tween animation. And we have a tween sequence that in the beginning starts in red and ends in orange and has a weight of 1. But because we have 3 sequences, each of them, they have a weight of 1. So in total will be 3. So the second one will take the color that ended the first one. So we'll start in orange and will end in yellow when the second field is filled in. And the third one, actually it's here. This is the one that, the third one will take the yellow, will start in yellow and will end in green. So we will have the color animation, a controller, and I've color twin, and the curve animation will have the curve is in animation. This is the method that we are using. And here we are declaring, we want to go to see if our widget updated. So we are declaring this new function, which takes the old widget and checks it if updated. If updated, it will animate to, will take the animation and will pass it to the widget. So it's the same here, I think. Yeah, it's the same one. And now we are going here to use our build method, and we will return the animated builder. And we will have the animation controller again. And inside of our builder, we are passing the context and the child, and we will have our linear progress indicator that was in the beginning declared at the top. We passing here the value of the curve animation with the value, and the value color animation, and the background color animation with the opacity at 0.4. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. I don't know how many slides we still have. So use the new animated here it's like a little bit of explanation. So use the new animated progress indicator, then replace the linear progress indicator in the form with the new animated progress indicator. So this is the only line that changes. We already had this child where we have the sign up text at the top of our form. We will have to add on top of it this animated progress indicator value. Actually, we change only a little bit of this. So this widget uses the animated builder to animate the progress indicator to the latest value. And now you should be able to, when I give you the code, you should be able to run the app. You can type anything into the 3 fields, and you will verify that the animation works and that clicking to the sign up form brings you to the welcome screen. So, okay, so now quickly, I will put in this chat for you the link to this code lab, and I will show you quickly where you find the code. 1 second. And this way, if you have any questions or something, my mouse started to be very sensitive. So here is your starting code. Can everybody see? I think you can see my screen. So here is all your starting code. Here are all the steps that we went through, all of this, and the explanations where you have to go to put in all your code. Okay. And here enable the progress tracking, observations. This part we didn't do it, the launch Dart dev tools. It's a very interesting reading. If you want to go to read it and try it, it will help you. It's just like for web development, the Chrome developer tools. This is the Dart dev tools. It's especially for Dart and Flutter. So this will help you if you have to debug your app if it's not working or something like this. And in the end, we have added this animation for the sign-in progress. And here is explain all the code. And in the end, you should have this code sample. And if you go to push this button, it should copy all the code for you. Or you can even try it here. It's like a Dart pad. It's same thing. And when you go here, it should take you. So same thing if I go in my Codepen, I should be able to see it. So this is my, and even in Dartpad, if I go to refresh, so the starting up has the progress bar at the top red. The sign up button is not enabled. As soon as you start to type in your first name, let's say Linda, it's becoming orange, and only 1/3. To me it doesn't seem to be really 1/3, but that's okay. Now if I put my last name, it should do the, I cannot even type my name. So now it should be 2/3. I don't know, to me it doesn't seem really 2/3, but that's okay. It's yellow. I followed the steps. So now let's say username, and now it's all the way green, and you should be able to click the sign up button and go in. So this is it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will send you an email tonight with all the links that we shared here for you, so you should be able to get most of it. So, and meanwhile that we are waiting for the questions, I'm showing you again, we have other meetup, with the one that it's more related to this one should be this one, the prototyping with Flutter and Firebase, where we will have Paul Ruiz from Google joining us and he will answer your questions. And after we will go walk you through building a sign up app with the validation and everything you need. Okay, using Firebase and everything. So feel free to join any other meetups that you are interested. Any questions? Anyone wants to share anything about their experience with Flutter, like Hemang? I know that you have some experience. Would you like to share your app?
And
that
also, I think this is a good time to remind everyone that we are recording this, but also I think this is a time when you can go ahead and open your mic up and show your screen if you like. Do remember we're recording it. That means Linda is going to share this video, not tonight. It might be a few days because it takes time to get these videos sorted. But right now, I think if you are interested, let's just open up the forum so that everyone can talk. And if you want to pop your microphone on so we can see who's talking, that would be great. We won't stop recording yet.
Unless if you don't want to be recorded your story, please let me know and we can stop the recording and you can share your story, whichever works for you.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fine. I would love to share my experience with Flutter. Actually, I myself, I just want to say that I myself am a beginner in Flutter. I have not done a lot many things in Flutter, but yeah, whatever I have done, I am quite well versed with it. Since I use a AMD device to code, so I don't have the emulator on my screen, so I will be joining the meeting from my phone. So please wait for a few minutes.
I was muted, I was talking alone. So because Hemang was saying that he built an app, so let's share our experience. Let's see what he built. If anyone else built something that would like to share with us, would be great. So, I think you are in, Hemang, right?
Yeah.
I think you have to mute one of yours.
Oh, wait.
I think you are good now. Okay. I don't know if you are talking, Hemang, and both of your...
Am I audible?
Okay, now it's good.
Yeah, so I'm trying to present my screen.
Okay. You can take over. I will stop presenting. See if you can. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so this is the app that I'm building right now. So it's a simple Python tutorials app, and it's still under development. So it's a simple card view, scroll view that I've inserted in this app. Other than this, I have made a list of all the examples that we come across, the beginner examples that we come across in Flutter, sorry, in Python. Okay. And here is the link to different video tutorials that I have on my YouTube channel regarding Python.
Nice. Looks good.
Okay, and finally, here are some resources that I'll be soon adding in my app, some good Python resources. And that's all. And one more thing that I'll be building in this section, I'll be building the Python interpreter to code inside the app only and see the outputs according to that.
Wow.
So I'm currently working on this project.
Compliments.
A couple things. If you're watching this on your screen, I'm sure the frame rate that we see is not the frame rate that you're experiencing, right? I'm sure that's running at a smooth frame rate. So don't think what you're seeing is his runtime. Also, wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that you could share your screen from the phone to show an app. So another thing that I've learned, that's pretty amazing. Great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, these days in India, because of the COVID-19 situation, the universities and the schools in India have shifted to the online platform, and we constantly use Google Meet for study purposes for the classes. So I'm quite well versed with what all Google Meet can do and how to work with it.
Nice. Really neat. I really like it. I really wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
Look at the resources that we have. You have so many code labs in there. And anyways, the widget of the day, go to see all the widgets. It's so much documentation. You did so much. I'm really amazed of your progress. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Anybody else would like to share their experience? Share something else? Now it's like networking time. I can't talk anymore. So,
I did want to, Linda, it's Glenn. Sorry, I've been silent
Glenn.
for the whole thing. Family business.
That's okay.
Since we're all home. Has anybody done anything with where I'm kicking around COVID-related app for work? I built a progressive web app for check-in for our work, since that is the standard that we're going to have now when people go back to the offices. I was curious if you've heard anybody building anything already with it within Flutter, or?
I didn't.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I didn't have nothing to say. Hemang, if you have to say something.
Sorry, sir. Okay. So yeah, related to the COVID situation, I am planning to build an app, and it's these days we are trying to maintain social distancing in different parts of the nation, and not just in nation, throughout the world. So, and many countries in the world are experiencing the unlock phase. That is, they are removing the lockdowns that were implemented in the countries. So in that case, we still need to maintain the social distancing situation, and that's why I think that the doorknobs and all these things in offices are a major contributor. They can be a major contributor to the situation, to increase the situation, increase the number of cases of COVID-19. So what I'm planning to do is we can make a QR code scanner system that whenever we can scan the QR code placed on the door gets unlocked, and we push it and we go inside and then we lock it again.
That's amazing. What a
That's
great.
cool. Yeah. Ours is nothing like that. We're just simply, if you have a temperature and then like 3 or 4 other questions, and then legally we are not responsible for anybody getting sick in the workplace after that, supposedly. But
Nice. Anybody else? Any other ideas? Any other apps to share? Great point, Glenn. Thank you for bringing it up. Oh, Carol, I'm involved in putting together a hackathon related to COVID. 1 second, I'm reading it. So
yeah, it says for Sunshine State, but it's not just for Florida. Anybody can, it's a virtual hackathon.
Okay, so you share the link. Let me copy it just in case. I will put it in. Okay. I will send it in the message that I'm sending. If it's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
To share it with everybody else. So it's related. So this will be a hackathon related to the COVID. So if anyone likes to join it, here is the link. I will also share it myself. So can you tell us more or?
Oh yeah, it's
Are you organizing it or?
I'm one of the organizers, yeah. Along with a couple other, actually people that I've met through the GDG group that have gone to some of our meetups. And okay, so it'll be from June 18th to the 21st.
I can barely hear you. So it says June 18, right?
Yeah, it'll be June 18th to the 21st.
Okay. So it's a weekend or what? Let me see. I'm checking it right now. Okay, I see it. And there is no limitations for which languages to use or something. Just everybody can use whatever they want, right? In order to build it up.
Yeah. Just so it's related to solving a problem.
Yeah, I see that there are prizes. $14,000 in prizes. Nice. So, anyone would like to share any other announcement? Any other thing that you might think of? Thank you, Carol, for bringing it up. Anyone? I'm alone talking here. If we don't have nothing else, you can unmute yourself, say something. We can even close the recording if you feel like intimidated because of the recording, and we can say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I can go ahead. So let's go ahead and stop the recording then. That sounds like a good idea. Here I go. I'm going in and pressing the button. And we're done.